That's such nonsense. I would never say that.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're looking at true story films that were nothing like the actual true story. These are not necessarily ranked by being the least accurate, but rather the ones that ran wild with their creative license for the sake of drama.
I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
The Imitation Game. Starring Benedict Cumberbatch as famed mathematician Alan Turing, The Imitation Game tells the story of his life, in particular as a codebreaker in World War II. Despite being a huge critical and financial success, not everyone was pleased with the film. The Guardian even referred to it as slanderous.
Isolated loners, no attachments to friends or family, arrogant. Know anybody like that?
Events from Turing's personal life, from his childhood till his death, were vastly changed. His portrayal as an antisocial loner also is at odds with what we know about the real man.
Well, this is inhuman, even for you. Popular at school, were you?
While persecution against his sexuality did lead to his tragic fate, the film adds a flashier backstory, with Turing suspected of being a Soviet spy. This was, of course, pure fiction.
Can you point to anything at all that you've achieved? Your funding is up, and our patience has expired.
The Blind Side. Telling the inspiring true story of linebacker Michael Orr's tumultuous upbringing, The Blind Side was released the same year he was selected in the first round of the NFL draft.
And with the 23rd pick in the 2009 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Michael Orr, offensive tackle, Mississippi.
The film chronicles him being taken in by his adoptive family. The Tuohys help him escape from his impoverished lifestyle, turning his grades and life around by stepping onto the football field.
Most kids from bad situations can't wait to be violent, and that comes out on the field. But this kid, he acts like he doesn't want to hit anyone.
He's Ferdinand the Bull.
However, many elements of the film have been questioned as playing into unfortunate white savior tropes, with the white family coming to the rescue of a silent, docile black child. Orr himself voiced his dissatisfaction with the film's portrayal of his intelligence, iterating that numerous elements, including his understanding of football, were dumbed down for the story.
I think the biggest for me is, being portrayed not being able to read or write. Second grade, I was doing plays.
The Conjuring.
Well, we've been called demonologists. It's one name for us. Ghost hunters, paranormal researchers.
Kooks.
Heavily marketed as being based on a true story, the film follows a pair of demonologists and authors, the Warrens. Like its many sequels and spin-offs, The Conjuring depicts them as brave paranormal investigators. In it, Lorraine Warren possesses clairvoyant abilities that they use to save innocents from malevolent forces, with support from her loving husband, Ed.
Picking up anything in here, hon?
Something awful happened here, Ed.
The real portrait of the Warrens is less rosy, as they are seen by many as being nothing more than frauds and opportunists, with Ed allegedly engaging in an extramarital affair. Many of the paranormal cases that propelled them to fame have been thoroughly debunked, with the Warrens seemingly making things up to tell a good story.
He made me do it.
Argo.
The police are not coming, okay, then the army's gonna come. The prime minister's not gonna let the embassy be taken over.
The prime minister may come tomorrow, but the Komote are here today.
All right.
Telling the gripping true story of rescuing 6 diplomats during the Iran hostage crisis, Argo won near universal acclaim, taking home 3 Oscars, including Best Picture. Throughout the film, the diplomats face capture and danger at every turn, culminating with a thrilling escape where they are almost caught boarding a plane to literally fly them to freedom.
Swissair 363, you are cleared for takeoff.
However, as thrilling as those events made the film, most of them were hugely exaggerated or flat out invented to provide drama. While the situation was dire, the imminent danger to the group was a product of dramatic license. Most notably, the heart-pounding finale where the plane is chased down the runway by armed gunmen never took place at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is our pleasure to announce that alcoholic beverages are now available as we have cleared Iranian airspace.
Catch Me If You Can, Based on his autobiography of the same name, Catch Me If You Can portrayed Frank Abagnale Jr. as a cunning con man who used his lies and tricks for massive financial gain. As portrayed by Leonardo DiCaprio, Abagnale uses his unique skill for deception to con his way into jobs as a doctor, lawyer, and pilot.
Are you a real life pilot?
I sure am, little lady. And what's your name?
Celine.
Celine, it's a pleasure to meet you.
He even worked for the FBI after they successfully caught him. As it turns out, however, the real Abagnale's biggest con was getting people to believe any of this actually happened.
Harvard Medical School, top of your class, Southern California Children's Hospital. Well, that's a pretty impressive resume, Dr. Connors.
Much of the book, and subsequently the film adaptation, were lies told to tell a good story. Guess we should have known.
Practiced law for 1 year, then I decided, why not try my hand at pediatrics?
You're just full of surprises.
Yeah.
The Greatest Showman, highly fictionalized, doesn't even begin to describe the way that this musical biopic depicts its subject, P.T. Barnum.
People will come from all over the world, and when they see him, they won't laugh. They'll salute.
Certain elements from the famous circus founder's life are present in the film, but the Hugh Jackman character bears little resemblance to his historical counterpart. Far from the magnanimous charmer he was in the film, the real Barnum has been accused of being a cruel racist who abused animals and took advantage of people.
Whoa, no, you can't go back again to the world that you were living in, 'cause you're dreaming with your eyes wide open.
The film's main love story, involving characters played by Zac Efron and Zendaya, was entirely created for the film, as the characters never even existed. The real story likely would have made for a much less entertaining musical, or at the very least, a much more depressing one.
A man learns who is there for him when the glitter fades and the walls won't hold.
Bohemian Rhapsody. Musical biopics tend to follow the same formula, more or less.
I study design here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Also, write songs. Might be of interest to you.
This film, following Queen, is no exception. That meant certain beats had to be hit at specific points in the film, shuffling around dates of key events, and amping up the interpersonal drama between members of the band.
Get out.
Oh,
Out.
what the
now,
hell?
get out of this car. You're fired.
What are you talking about?
I said
Fired?
get out.
Freddie, you are
I said
high.
get out.
What are you talking about?
Out! Out, or I'll kill you!
While the finale, showing the band reuniting to play the Live Aid concert after learning of Freddie Mercury's AIDS diagnosis, was a powerful climax, it was hardly accurate. The band weren't last-minute replacements. Rather, they'd always meant to play the benefit show.
Mama, life had just begun, but now I'm gonna throw it all away.
Mercury wouldn't be diagnosed with AIDS until 2 years later, and wouldn't tell his bandmates for a further 2 years. The Social Network.
We would need you to build the site, write the code, and we'll provide all the...
I'm in.
What?
I'm in.
Screenwriter Aaron Sorkin and director David Fincher weren't nearly as interested in giving an accurate depiction of Facebook's founding as they were in telling a story about greed and male loneliness. While nearly every major person portrayed in the film has come out to decry the way they were represented, the film hits on a few more universal truths.
You're gonna go through life thinking that girls don't like you because you're a nerd. And I want you to know from the bottom of my heart that that won't be true. It'll be because you're an asshole.
Sorkin even admitted to having little interest in Facebook, but was drawn to the project as it was a way for him to tackle themes, including friendship, loyalty, jealousy, class, and power. Over the years, the film has only grown in renown and cultural importance.
Did you hear what I just said? The connections, the energy. Mark, you got it! I'm afraid if you don't come out here, you're gonna get left behind. I need you out here. Please don't tell him I said that.
Marie Antoinette. Occasionally, films are anachronistic, not for convenience's sake, or by accident, but intentionally to make a point.
Why go to the opera when we can listen to the Countess here?
Must she sing all night?
This is exactly what director Sofia Coppola and star Kirsten Dunst did with their depiction of the titular 18th century monarch. In the film, Marie Antoinette seems less like a French aristocrat and more like a modern American teen.
You want these too?
You have it in pink.
2 in pink.
Has Madame read the brief on our current situation?
No, I haven't read it yet.
Coppola would later note how she had intentionally stylized the film and characters to make them more human and relatable. Those intentional anachronisms even carried over to other aspects of the film, including famously the modern pop song I Want Candy, playing in a shot where a pair of Converse shoes were seen.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Braveheart.
I shall tell you of William Wallace. Historians from England will say I am a liar, but history is written by those who have hanged heroes.
Most of what we know about the near-legendary warrior who fought for Scottish independence, Sir William Wallace, was ignored by Braveheart's star/director Mel Gibson. The film's interpretation of Wallace draws heavily from a less-than-accurate historical poem, with plenty of 90s Hollywood action diluting the accuracy further for good measure.
It's William Wallace.
Can't be. Not tall enough.
Of course, Wallace wasn't the only inaccurate thing in the film, as other characters, military campaigns, and even fashion were completely off. As one historian put it, the war paint was 1,000 years too late, while the kilts were 500 too early.
That they may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom!
None of that stopped the film from being a colossal box office success and taking home Best Picture, proving that maybe accuracy doesn't matter. Which movie got the most wrong? Let us know in the comments below.
I think it took away the hard work and the dedication that I created from a child, and going to school in the 3rd grade, getting myself up. First one in the locker room, last one out.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.